Hey guys, it's me VB. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely week. So today I'm doing just an everyday makeup look. I just wanted to do something simple. A lot of people have actually been asking me to do everyday simple makeup look because not every day everyone wants to do eyeshadow. I also use the EX1 Invisiwear foundation that I've been hearing a lot of hype on Instagram about. So yeah, I finally used it and I'll tell you about how I feel about it in the video. So please stay tuned. I will be taking all this off in 3, 2, 1. I think this color is actually too light. Shade 14.0, but shade 15 was too dark, so I was like, nah. Okay, so this is me with like half my face done. This side has been done. It's a nice shade for around here, I'm not gonna lie, but I do think I start looking a bit ghosty and ashy around here. So when I do use this foundation next time, I will be mixing it with my Dior foundation that I've got in shade 60, because this is a bit too dark for me anyway. So I will be mixing it. But for the sake of this video, I am going to just continue to use this foundation. Okay, so yeah, this shade is definitely not the right one for me, and the 15 is too dark. This is the closest I could get to my skin complexion. It's a decent foundation for now. I haven't really tested it out properly, but it's decent coverage for 2.5 pumps. I do feel like it has a skin-like look. Like, it's not full coverage, but it gives you like, I can go to the gym like this and look like I haven't really got any foundation on. Just a little tip as well. Anyone that uses the E.L.F 16-hour concealer, you would know that it's really mattifying and really drying. And sometimes, I don't know for you, but sometimes when I set it and during a day of work, I can see like just where it's sat deeper here. And it can look weird, so you have to kind of like dust it off and then it will blend in again. But one thing I've learned is I think it's because it's too matte for me, for my skin. So I use the LA Girl Pro concealer just by under my eyes and then use the E.L.F concealer a little bit underneath. But I'll show you how I do it now. So today I want to talk about like something that I've been speaking about for the past couple of days to different people, just randomly. It'll just come up in conversation. But I recently met a security guard that works where I work, and he's Nigerian as well, and he will speak to me in my language and was telling me how like it's good to know your language and speak in your language and all of that. And we got onto the topic of fathers, and I told him that yeah, my father's not in the picture and hasn't been in the picture for most of my life, like since I was 6 years old. And I told him the story, and then he told me I shouldn't put 100% blame on my father because I don't know the story, the real story, and eventually maybe the story will come out. And I'm just like, well, you don't know my life, but I appreciate your advice, but I know enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that he's not here right now, so that's enough. And then he started to ask me, we started talking about like just the effects of not having a father. And I literally was saying to him, because that's what I believe, that I don't think not having a father has affected me because I have God and my mum. And he was like, no, it's gonna have its own effect on you. You may not see it, other people may see it in you, but it definitely has an effect on you. So I was like, oh, whatever. First I was like, yeah. And then I was talking to my friend on Sunday and it came up again. And I thought maybe I should share it with people on YouTube, on this channel, to see if anyone else is sharing the same feelings and emotion as me. So I'm gonna talk about my story. I'm gonna answer 2 or 3 common questions that people ask me when I tell them that I do not have my father in my life. So let me just quickly give you a brief history. So my father and my mother were dating from Nigeria. They didn't come to England at the same time, I don't think so. My mom was born here anyway, but she didn't come back with him. She came back and then they started dating when they saw each other here. And they had my brother, they had me 3.5 years later, and then they had Sarah that you've seen on my channel, my sister, 4 years after that. And their relationship was not the best, but it wasn't the worst. I can tell you my mum was faithful, from what I've been told. She was faithful, and she followed the traditions of like Nigerian women and cultured women, you know, look after your husband, you go to church, you take the kids, you do that, you did this. Anyway, by the age of 6, he upped and left. My brother was like 9 then, and then my sister was only 2. So my sister doesn't really have a relationship, or never had a relationship with my dad. And yeah, so he upped and left. He then came back. Oh, we didn't hear nothing from him, by the way. He upped and left, and within months, we no longer had communication with him. Yeah, so blah, 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 blah. 10 years roll on, I'm 16 now, and we found a letter in my house that was hand posted, and it was allegedly from him. Well, it's from him, actually. I know it was from him. It was from him, and it was saying that he wanted to get to know his children and all of that. And by this time, I had already found out, or knew, we don't know how we knew, but we knew from the grapevine that he already had 2 other kids and was remarried. And I used to always think, like, how do you live life when people come up to you saying that those 2 kids are your first 2 kids, when you know deep down you have 3 more before these 2 kids? But I digress. He came back for a couple months, I think, then said to my mum he's going to Nigeria, and then never came back again. And then I called him. My mum called him one time, and the phone rang like he was in the UK. And when he answered the phone, my mum was like, "So you lied? So you're in the UK?" Then I messaged him from my mum's phone, like, "It's your daughter," and he was like, "Don't worry, baby, I'll be back." And he never came back. So even till now, a good like 10 more years on. 10 plus years on, he's still not back in my life. And I personally feel like it hasn't affected me, but here's some questions that I am asked whenever I talk about this story. And it says, and one question is, how do I feel not having a father? Before I answer that, I want to now like softly warm my face with the L'Oreal Blendable Power in Cacao. Yeah, L'Oreal True Match powder. So like I said, this is a makeup, no makeup look, okay? So I'm just gonna softly warm my face. So just to add color as well, seeing as I think that this foundation is too light. So how do I feel? Personally, I don't feel like it's affected me in a negative way or positive way. I just feel like I know God and my mum has got me. Like, I know God has got me, most definitely. And God and my mum have done a stupendous job raising us. Like, when people meet us, when people like have met me and I tell them my story, they wouldn't believe that I came from a 1-parent household. Like, I don't know what Nigerians believe a 1-parent household would bring as a child, but honestly, my mum has done it with 5 kids and it's all through God. But yeah, so I personally don't feel like I have lost anything out. Like, I don't think I've lost anything. I do feel like I've lost some things in terms of financially. Like, I would have been able to have 2 incomes instead of 1. So then if I asked for something as a child, it wouldn't have been like, you gotta wait this, or can I borrow from you instead? We would have had a father who would have been making some money. Do you know what I mean? So I do feel like I missed out on that in terms of having enough money to look after us the way I know my mom wished she could look after us. Do you know what I mean? But the financial backing is what I feel like I missed in terms of my childhood. But to me, everyone's story is different. Even like in my family, like my sister's story would be different from my own experience because her story is different from mine. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like I didn't miss anything or lose anything. Like, I feel like it all happened for a reason, and it's for me to be the person I am today. Next question that people always ask me is, how has it affected you? It has affected, like I said, childhood, growing up, and like not having the financial backing. But it affected me in terms of like when you hear things like, "Oh, I'm my daddy's little girl," like you can't relate to it. Like, you really can't relate to it. Like, it affected me in a way where I feel now, as I've got older, too much pressure on my older brother to be a father figure for me. And unfortunately, as I've got older, I feel bad because I feel like he didn't really get to live his childhood because I looked at him like he's my dad. I still kind of do now. Like, even when my niece was born, my first niece, I was like to her, bro, I hope you still know that he's my dad first, you know? But yeah, so that's how I feel like it's affected me in terms of me looking up to a child more or less to be my father. And yeah, like, and my expectations of a man is of the child or pretend adult my brother had to be at an early age. So yeah, if I'm to be honest, that's how it's affected me. Does it affect my choice in men? I feel like that it does. It definitely does. Like, when I first started dating guys, I was dating guys that I felt like would just really fall in love with me. Like, the guys that would tell me everything. Like, when I first started dating, I wanted to hear everything. Like, I was taking the words and not the actions, you know. And it's because I felt like, oh, his affirmations of love towards me means he's gonna stay. Like, I'm only gonna date people, no disrespect, but I felt like I was only gonna date people who would show like they're lucky to have me. How do I say it? I was only dating people that I felt like, not in a rude way, but I was dating guys that I felt like they weren't really my type, but because they're not my type, they're gonna appreciate me more. Like, I had the stigma that good-looking guys are just gonna treat like shit, but nowadays any guy can treat like shit. Let's keep it real. But yeah, so I'm gonna just contour my nose a little bit with this E.L.F. concealer, and it's called Rich Chocolate. Yeah. So yeah, I used to like date like guys like that. I personally felt like I was dating guys with no backbones at the beginning. Like, I was attracted to guys that I felt like were a bit soft, you know, because I felt like only hard guys are gonna cheat on you. Like, only stubborn guys are gonna be mean to you and not appreciate you. But you know, as I got older, it changes. I grew wiser. I also felt like I didn't want to date Nigerian men because I saw around me that my aunties and all of that were also not married but had kids. They don't know where their dads are either. So I was like, okay, I might not want to marry a Nigerian man. Like, for a long time when I was younger, I really wanted a white man. Like, I had Josh Hartnett on my ceiling, Justin Timberlake, and who was the other one? There was 3 white guys that I was like, oh my gosh, I love them. Like, I just wanted to date white guys because I just felt like the stigma with white guys, or from what I saw on TV, they stayed with their family, you know. But I'm sure there's some that don't, you know. My choice in men definitely was affected by me not having a father. Because I feel like as well, like, my brother didn't like a lot of the guys I dated, but I just felt like it's also brother, that your brother never likes the guys you date. But I feel like a father would be like, I could see certain things he's about to do. Like, he could have warned me, you know? I feel like he could have warned me if he saw, I don't know. I just feel like he would have been able to foresee some things. Like I didn't really, because the thing is, whenever my brother didn't like a guy, I then looked at him as a brother instead of my father figure. Like, I would take that advice as a brother. That's just a brother being a brother. So it was like, it was hard, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it did definitely affect the guys I chose and the guys I dated. But then again, my mum didn't let me go out that much, so I didn't really date that much. So that spared me a lot of heartbreak and heartache. So let's open the Flutter Primark eyelashes. They're £1 and it comes with a glue as well. Honestly, I've been using this like for the past week, and when I use it by itself, people think it's my own eyelashes. So yeah, I'm gassed. I do definitely believe that like the effect of not having a father around affects boys and girls way different. Like, I had this conversation with my friend in the car, and it's like, with boys, that's the first role model and to teach them how to be a man. And with girls, it's like the first role model in what type of guy you should get. That's what a real father's supposed to be. But you know, I can only speak from my perspective, and I don't blame any mistakes that I've made with guys on not having a father at all, because I feel like I was supposed to learn from it anyway. But I do think I could have learned a lot about tricks and ways guys move from a father if my father was there, instead of me looking at my brother like, oh, you're just saying that because you're being an older brother. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And last question that people ask me whenever I talk about not having a father, they ask me, how do I look at men now? Like, how do I look at men? And it's changed the older I get. Like, when I was younger, I used to look at men like they'll save me, like having a husband and a partner is gonna save me from like being by myself, having to look after kids by myself, having to fend for everything by myself. It will save my sanity, it will save me in different ways. And I used to think just having a man was everything. Like, legit, I used to think having a man was everything. The older I got, that has fizzled out. Like, I do think my dad was not in my life to teach me to be strong and teach my brother another lesson and teach my sister a different lesson. But to me, that is not my number one goal now. Make sure I get married, make sure I get married, make sure I get married. I feel like God has a plan for you and God wants you to be happy, and the main thing you should pray for is joy and peace, and everything else will fall into place. So yes, I do want to get married, and yes, I do want a husband and everything, but the way I used to look at husbands, he's gonna save me, having a man is gonna save me, it's different now. It's gonna add to me. Make sure I find the right guy that adds to me and I add to them in a positive way, in a way where there's progression and there's peace with love, you know? Like, I've seen so many aunties that are single that put their husband first, and look where they are now, they're still single. It's like, oh, look what he did, he still cheated, you know? So when I used to have like aunties shouting, not shouting, but like, oh, you should be married by now, B, you should be married by now. It's like, yeah, but how can you tell me I should be married by now, and you're single? Like, you married at a 20-year-old age. Like, you married in your 20s and look at you now in your 40s. So I don't understand how any of you guys could stand there and judge me, because whenever you're like African, they're gonna be judging you from when you get your degree that you should be married. How can you judge me? But at 21 you popped a baby, and at 43 you're still single and you got 3 kids. Like, I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not even like downplaying them or trying to shit on them, but it's like, we need to stop putting pressure on young girls to get married, because it's just gonna repeat this cycle. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to know ourselves before we go for the right guy. If we keep looking at guys that they're gonna complete us, we're gonna continue to go for the wrong guys. That's one thing I'm gonna say. Okay, so the lashes are on and they look so natural. Like, they're not doing too much, and that's why I like these lashes. I remember one day my sister was like, oh, you wear lashes? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, it looks like you put extensions on, like, and some have fallen out. And I like this. Like, it's just pretty and simple, and it's £1. And I think my mum is so strong, like, to have gone through what she's gone through by herself, kind of. Like, obviously we have God, but like, to go through what she's gone through, and like, she had the 3 of us before she was 30. Wait, 21, 22. So she had like the 3 of us by like 30. So to then be left alone by 32, you know, come on, man. Like I said, props to all the single mothers out there. But yeah, a lot of the things I do in terms of trying to be successful and just make sure, like, I never had the privilege of borrowing money from my mom. Like, we never did as young children. So it's like, a lot of things I do is to make my mom proud, and just to show people, like, you can make it from a 1-parent household. Like, and making it does not mean like you have to be equivalent to Beyonce. That is not making it to everyone. But being comfortable, having savings, being loved and loving people, that's the way of making it to me. And being able to tell your story without being uncomfortable, without crying, you can cry, but you know, without breaking down, that is making it to me, because I know where I've come from. So I do appreciate the little things in life, and I will continue to. And I love my mum. Like, I thank God for the mum I have, honestly. Like, I guess this video is an ode to my mum. Oh shit. I guess this video is an ode to my mum, like, just to let her know I appreciate her, and I know she knows anyway. But yeah, she's amazing. I love this. So this is my makeup, no makeup look, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you like my little vulnerable conversation. Like, I do think we do need more 2-parent households in the Black community, especially, because together, divided we conquer, but united we stand. Do you know what I mean? So guys, please, before you impregnate girls, make sure you know that's what you want, and if that's the woman you want too. Don't let your kids suffer. It's not fair on your children. They didn't ask to be here. But yeah, that's just my story of not having a father in my life. And here's my everyday makeup look. I hope you guys like it. And be sure to subscribe, comment down below, like this video, share it with your friends, and follow me on my sister's blog. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.